Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Daisy and I'm an artist and animator, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can design and create your own D&D characters. This is something that I feel like a lot of people are really scared about. They're like, I really want to visualize this character or whatever. They have a character they want to visualize, but they don't feel like they can do it by themselves. And so I'm gonna give you 3 really easy steps to create your own character and to be able to do it confidently. Okay, let's get into it. One thing, this isn't really a detailed step on how to do the actual drawing part of it. For instance, I've been drawing for a long time, and so I know how to draw a lot of characters and know anatomy and stuff, but this is more just focused on the story elements of it. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's get into it. First thing we want to do is, whenever we're thinking of our character, I'm going to be designing one of my characters from a D&D game. Her name is Hild. Her full name is Hilda Gillyweed, I believe. It's hard to remember because I haven't used it in a while, but her name is Hild and she is a rogue. First thing you want to make sure you have is the story. You want to make sure that you know where they're coming from and where they're going and why they are there. You need to know who the character is, because if you know where they are, where they're going, that will have a really firm foundation, so you can come up with all the other little details from there. Second thing you need to make sure you have are good shapes. Shapes are something that I feel like a lot of times people overlook whenever they're drawing, but they're really important because they really define the character before you add any details. They explain who the character are, who the character is, and yeah, it really helps define the character. And then after that, I will do the details. That would be any of like the magical items or whatever, clothes, like all the details that go into that, even coloring. And these 3 things are kind of what I would go through if I'm like doing a commission for somebody or if I'm drawing my own D&D character. And these are the most important things that I can think of that will allow you to easily create a character. So let's get into it. For Hild, her story is that she's a gnome. She lived with her family, and they were a family that like brewed ale. They made ale. And her uncle used to be a thief, like a roguish person. He would go off at adventures and steal stuff. And so that's kind of what she always grew up to be. But recently he retired and she was bitter because of that. So she ran away from home and she's off on her own now, adventuring, trying to find her place in the world. So that's where she is right now, okay? Her main goal is she is not a very nice person particularly. Like, she won't go and murder somebody, but her main goal is just basically getting money any way she can. So that is who she is. And that really helps me because once I know her motives, I can kind of tell, like, what will her expressions be like? What will her, shapes be like? Because I don't know if it makes sense, but once I know who she is, helps me figure out what kind of shapes I want whenever I'm drawing her. Okay, number 1, story, we got that down. Number 2, let's go to shapes now. And you can follow along if you're doing a character. I would love to see the characters that you've done. If you want to tag me with them, that would be really fun. Second thing, shapes. Now that I have gotten the story down, I want to explore with some shapes. I know that she is a gnome, so she's short. I know she has, and these are details still, but they're things that are in my head, so I just have to get them down. And that's good sometimes. So I know she has black hair. One thing that helps me whenever I'm thinking of shapes is I like to think of the characters around her. For instance, her uncle that I explained before. Since I know that story, I can think of, say, whenever I think of him, I think of this kind of shape for the hat. I think he was like a cowboy gnome, right? And these are just very, very simple shapes. He was like a cowboy gnome, right? He was like a gunslinger and he was super cool. So I kind of want to take that triangle shape and I kind of want to put it into maybe what her head could look like. So I want her to have like really spiky hair. If this was her face here, I want her to have really like spiky hair that goes all the way up, and that kind of mirrors what this is. And I feel like that's super important. You want to relate things to each other. That's why it's helpful sometimes to design multiple characters at once, because they kind of balance each other out. But right now I'm just doing Hild. I want to figure out her shapes, her silhouette. I'm gonna do her head. I want her head to be kind of disproportionately big to the rest of her body. Somewhat. So I'm going to figure out what kind of shapes I want for her body. And I feel like I want to go with the triangle theme. I kind of want to see where I can go with that. And a big process of coming up with these shapes is just trying different things. Don't limit yourself to one thing, because once you do that, you've just signed off all the other potential ideas that could be. And you haven't allowed yourself to explore. So that's super important. Again, with the triangle shape, I like that. And then let's try one where she's like maybe in an action pose. There's the triangle shape again. Where can we go with this? Maybe she's like reaching out to steal somebody's money, because that's something she would do. In these first rough sketches, you want to try to draw them in poses that would be like, for instance, if it was like a spellcaster, maybe you would draw them casting a spell. Maybe if it was like a druid, you could draw them petting an animal. Yeah, just fun stuff like that. So I'm just doing very rough shapes here to try to discover who this character can be. I'm liking the way this is turning out. You just need to be really rough. You need to explore. You need to figure out what's best for the character. It's a really fun process. This is like my favorite process of creating a character because the shapes are the most fundamental part of the character. And then with the triangle thing, I don't want to just stay with the triangle. I want to, try some other things. So, her face is kind of like a triangle and a circle. I want to try maybe doing some more circles. So let's have her torso kind of be a circle, and then maybe her pelvis is like a triangle, and then maybe her legs are more triangle shapes. And this is the kind of thing you want to get where you're just doing very, very basic shapes, so you can kind of get the look you want without having too much worry or without being too precious about your drawing, because that way you can explore a lot of different things. And I really like the way this looks a lot. Looks very sassy, looks very confident, and that's the kind of thing I want to go for, because she's kind of like sassy and confident, but also at the same time she's very kind of naive. She doesn't really know what she's doing a lot of the times, so she kind of just wings it. Okay, I like this one. Let's keep this. So once I've got this, I'll explore with some more poses. Just do as many as you want. Just like keep it going, keep the thoughts going, because once you stop exploring, then you have the character. But I think it's good to keep exploring for as long as you can to make sure that you've explored all the options and that you're not jumping to conclusions, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try this one, maybe like balancing a knife on the tip of her finger. That feels like a bad idea to me, but she wouldn't really care. Yeah, just in these poses, just make sure you're having fun with it, keep the character balanced. If you haven't done stuff like this before, I think you'll really enjoy it, because it's like my favorite part of designing a character. I think everybody should design characters. I think maybe this one, she should be bending over, maybe looking at something on the ground. Maybe she found some gold on the ground and she wants to pick it up. She's being kind of greedy about it. Her hands are really pointy, and it's good to add a lot of contrast in your, in your shapes and in your gesture. So I feel like we have a good base now. So I know that I want triangles, I like circles, and a little bit of like a soft boxy shape. And this may seem like it's kind of like, well, duh, I mean, those are kind of basic shapes. But once you know what those are, you are really allowed to explore. For instance, if I could do a completely different character, and I would choose completely different shapes probably. So this is where I would actually go into taking the story and the shapes, and I will combine them and think about it and brainstorm, and then I will come up with the details for the character. And those have to do with like what kind of clothes she's wearing. Is she dirty? Is she have a lot of money? Are her pockets bulging? That kind of thing. And I've kind of already thought about this character for a while because I've been playing her, and I haven't got around to drawing her yet, but I've been thinking about her for a while. So I already know most of this stuff because it's been in my head. I just haven't written it down yet. But you should take time to think about this stuff, and then once you've thought about it, maybe write a couple things down, then go start drawing the character. Have fun with it. Don't stress about it, because that's not fun. And then I think it will be really easy to try to come up with your character. It may not look the best like the first time you draw it. You may want to draw it like several times in order to get the kind of character that you want. But I think the most important thing is to remember the story. The story is the most important thing, and if you can capture the story, then you've captured the character. So yeah, I'm going to get into it. I like to draw several sketches to figure out the details before I actually do a finished picture, and at the end of the video I will do a finished picture that I can show you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna keep sketching. I will talk about it. And so for this one, I want her to have really round eyes. Again, I'm still thinking of shapes even though I'm going toward details, and like a little button nose, because even though she's like really sneaky and kind of annoying and sarcastic and stuff, she's still supposed to look really kind of like sweet and innocent. Like you wouldn't think that this sweet little gnome could be such a pain. And so that's the kind of thing I think about. She has a bunch of earrings on her ears. She's really like emo at the same time as being innocent. This is like the kind of look I want to go for. And so this is the kind of thing you just want to experiment with. Maybe I could go for a lot more edgy. Maybe she has like a really dark makeup and really like bleak eyes, and she's just like eyeing the gold and she's like, it's all mine. And so I could go for that kind of look, and I think I could get something really cool with that too. And I think actually I like this one a lot too. And then again, the earrings, I think, and the emo black sticky up hair. So yeah, those are the kind of things you can play with to try to figure out your character. You know, try lots of different things, figure out who you want your character to be. Yeah, I'm going to sketch a lot of sketches of this because sketching a lot of sketches will allow me to take the ones that I like and explore them a bit more. Okay, I've drawn several sketches of her. Now I'm going to do one more finished refined sketch. And this can be the one that after you do a bunch of sketches, you know, explore as much as you want. Don't tie yourself down. But once you have something you like, you should draw like a finished sketch that you can put like in your folder. If you have a DnD folder, you can put it on your phone if you have your character sheet on your phone. But yeah, so you can just have a visual reference with you every time you want to look at it and say, hey guys, drew this cool character, stuff like that. So you can just like show it off to people. So yeah, I'm going to draw the finished sketch now, and I will see you guys at the end. And there you have it. That is my finished sketch of Hild. And this was super fun. I love this character so much. So you just need to remember 3 things: story, shapes, and then details, okay? Don't get overwhelmed. It's just supposed to be fun. And I'm really excited to see if you guys try this. Try and make your own characters, your D&D characters. That will be so much fun. So yeah, I think this was really fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos like this in the future. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts. Tag me if you post pictures of you doing these D&D characters. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and be sure to like and subscribe and check out my Instagram and my Twitter and my website if you want. So yeah, I think that's it. Now you have a super cool D&D sketch to show off to your friends and put in your D&D folder and stuff. So yeah, fun. Okay, bye. Love you guys.